Hey now, it is Monday at noon. Well, almost a little afternoon. This is Booker Corrigan alongside Glenn Clark. We are in the Live Casino Hotel studio, and we are set for the Maryland Free State High School Lacrosse Show presented by the Under Armour Underclass Tournament Tryout. Make sure you go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com and register now. Huge shout-out to everyone with a great bracket. I don't have a great bracket, but that's okay.
You rode Villanova a little bit too far there, but
19085, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I respect it. Trust me, I respect it.
Yeah. Every year I pick them to win.
But, like, I went to Maryland. I love me some Maryland. I sure as hell did not pick them to win the national championship this year.
I grew up in Villanova.
I get it. I just don't think it was a wise move.
That's okay.
Respect
neither do I.
Right. As it turns out, it was not.
I wasn't picking them to win. I was picking them to pick them.
Right, just so you could be that guy.
Now,
I hear you.
You got to say it like that?
I do. I do kind of have to say it like that.
Just so I could be that guy. I don't remember. We'll get into being that guy. I might close with being that guy.
Okay, all right.
Let's get into this week because the FCA Lacrosse Game of the Week is coming on you.
Yeah.
And it is Friday night, 7 o'clock under the lights at Calvert Hall. The sun will just have dipped below the Earth's surface, and it will be glorious.
What a crowd there's going to be at Calvert. Yeah. I'm already thinking about what
there's going to be a crowd at the Valley Inn.
That's right. Where you go to watch that.
We're on WBAL Me TV channel. So check out your Verizon or Comcast hookup.
Yep.
It's not on DirecTV yet, which I apologize. I'm actually a DirecTV customer, and I'm not happy with it.
But you can go to the Valley Inn.
Yeah, I can go to the Valley Inn, or I can I'm on the air doing it. So
right. Yeah, I guess that's true.
But I go to the Valley Inn right afterwards.
The rest of us will race
to the Valley Inn.
The rest of us will be at the Valley Inn.
The Valley Inn's so good. The food's delicious.
Unbelievable.
The hostesses are unbelievably great. My daughter is a hostess.
I didn't know that. I just thought you were a fan.
Just thought I was creepy.
By the way, no, I don't. There might be great hostesses at the Valley Inn. I remember.
My daughter
told you I was there for New Year's Eve, and I had I remember a lovely hostess.
Yes, bingo.
Might have been your daughter now that I think about it.
So now let's get into Calvert Hall BL. Yes. Calvert Hall, and it's so intriguing because the MIAA hasn't had a 3-time champion, since the 40s, 50s, and it was the MSA then.
Yeah, you've talked a lot about this, the parity in years, until the last couple of years.
Yes, so Calvert Hall's won the last 2. But before that, there were 7 different schools who won the 7 different championships. So, yes, parity, it was wild. It's the most competitive high school lacrosse league in the country on any given year. The champion of Philadelphia's Interact League or the New Jersey State champion or the New England Division I champion could beat our champion. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But our number 6 team takes their number 6 team to the woodshed.
Sure.
That's
loaded.
The difference.
It's a great point.
That's the difference. And this year, I've already talked to a lot of people about high school lacrosse in Baltimore and the MIAA A Conference. The 6 teams make the playoffs. Top 2 get a bye. Bottom 4 play it out. There are 8 teams who are really, really staring at a playoff spot, and 2 of them are going to be seeded 7 and 8, and they don't get in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And those are good teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are good teams. So what are you expecting Friday night, Buck?
Friday night, BL and Calvert Hall played in the championship game last year. Calvert Hall has some really big, strong middies. The Mitchells, Cole Herbert, they really do have big, big, strong middies. They got a great new goalie in Jackson Marshall. They lost some defensive athleticism. On Saturday, I was at the Towson game. Garrett Zingalia out there running around. He was dominant last year for Calvert Hall. So they're going to have to replace some defensive studs. They have Saucy Jack Sawyer on offense. They got some Kellys on offense. They have some real good, like I talked about, those big middies. Prayers and bless up to Mikey McNally, who blew out his knee again. And he's only a junior in high school.
Oh, man.
I know.
Tough.
Yeah. And his dad, Stu, and I played together in high school, so it's nice to keep track of him, but I'm not going to get to call his name because he's getting a new, fresh ACL.
I wish him the best.
And now you then turn the tables and look at BL. I went and saw them play Culver on Saturday at 3 at BL. Beautiful setting. One of my favorite places to go watch a game. And as someone who was just sitting on the grass on the far side, it was gorgeous. Gorgeous place. Culver is the number 2 ranked team in the country right now by Ty Zanders, and they deserve every bit of it. They were dominant. They were a step ahead in every aspect of the game. But for Culver, they come here to make sure that they win these games, and they're playing McDonogh today. For BL, it's a Saturday game. Yeah, they want to go out there and prove something.
Right, but it's not a conference game.
They're not hanging a banner. At the end, they're not hanging a banner. Culver finds a way to impose their will on BL. I think Coach Brian Farrell, the Lakers head coach, is going to use that film to build. And that's what you should do. As a coach, Glenn, and you know this as well as anyone, you want to go undefeated and be in the conversation of the best team ever.
Of course.
But as soon as you lose a game, now you want to make sure that you're learning, you're building, and you don't want to lose come May.
That's what matters most. There's no doubt about that.
If you lose in March, you lose in April, things are going to be okay as long as you're learning, you're reviewing, you're putting kids in spots to be the best version of themselves. That's what a high school coach's job.
So that's Friday night.
Yep.
7 o'clock. And again, the rundown of everywhere people can find it.
Facebook, you can go on MIAA You can go on BAL Me TV, and we're thrilled to have people be able to DVR. If you have Verizon or Comcast, you can DVR that game, and it is going to be an absolute dogfight.
So even if you have plans Friday night, DVR when you get home Friday night. It's not like there's going to be ESPN alerts sent to your phone or something like that that's going to ruin it for you. You can still check
Twitter.
Just avoid Twitter for a couple hours on Friday night.
Wake up Saturday morning. One of the great lessons I was teaching my daughter yesterday. In the bacon and egg breakfast, what's the difference between the chicken and the pig?
I've heard this before. One of them is committed. One of them is more committed.
The chicken's involved.
Yeah.
The pig's committed.
Correct. The pig is way more committed to being part of that breakfast. I actually believe that's a Brian Billick. That's one of his go-to.
The bacon and egg breakfast. What's the difference between the chicken?
No doubt.
The
chicken's involved, right?
Chicken's
It has a role. To play in that breakfast. That pig's a pretty committed part of the
another
breakfast.
huge game on Friday is St. Paul's at McDonogh. St. Paul's new head coach, Trey Whitty, has done a fantastic job at St. Paul's, and they looked very, very good when I saw them play Landon. They were prepared impeccably.
Okay.
And Landon had a game plan, and not to diss Landon, but I think they were trying to prove something to their kids, and they stuck to the game plan. And St. Paul's had the solution to their game.
And they didn't go away from it because they wanted to
deviate from it. Yeah. And maybe that's what they want to stick with for the year. I'm not.
Right.
But as I was watching the game, I kept saying to myself, well, they can't keep going. And their zone is called Puma. They can't keep calling Puma because St. Paul's zone offense is finely tuned right now. The sticks are there. It's like packing in a 2-3 zone against the hot 3-point shooter.
Sure.
At some point, you're like, okay, let's go 1-3-1.
Yeah, they're shooting over you every time, right? Yeah.
They're dropping bombs, and St. Paul's whooped them. It was 3-2 when I showed up. It was 11-4 final. St. Paul's put it on them. So St. Paul's is going to be taking McDonogh. Now, Trey Whitty, I brought him up because he was the assistant coach at McDonogh for a long time. So he is now going up against his old mentor, Andy Hilgartner, one of the great guys. And I say one of so many great coaches in the MIAA. And these guys have their teams right where they want them heading into MIAA play. You do the out-of-conference stuff, and I was a MIAA head coach. You want to get the out-of-conference stuff so you're challenging your guys. You also want a kind of a convincing win so you get the third and fourth string guys in there.
Yeah, get them involved, right.
That way they practice harder. That way they know when you tell them in practice you're going to need to know this in the game, it's not just hot air. I'm going to get you in. I'm going to find a way to get you some minutes, and I want to see what you can do because then you might get more minutes in a tighter game. But you got to prove it. Don't tell me, well, I'm not really a practice player.
Right.
You're not
going to be a player, right? Exactly right.
You're getting a lot of game time.
So St. Paul's McDonogh also coming up on Friday.
Yes, but that is not on the rematch of the championship game last year.
Right. That's
the FCA
game
of the week is unbelievable.
What else? I got a couple things for you.
Okay.
One, remember you always have to give me a lesson every week.
Yeah.
So have that prepared.
I always do. 2,
we're going to talk about a homework assignment that we have for you this week. But 3, what else early on in the year has jumped out at you that kind of matters that we need to discuss?
Calvert Hall hasn't lost. They haven't lost a whole lot. They lost those 2 defensemen that I talked about. They lost their starting goaltender, Liam Dara, from last year, who I think was fantastic, but Jackson Marshall has stepped right in, so I don't know that there's going to be any hiccup there. But defensively, they're going to have to replace a couple real good athletes, and I think they'll be able to do that. BL, they got to get healthy. They got to get well. They have to recover from the Culver experience. We'll see how good Culver is once they finish playing McDonogh today, and that's at McDonogh this afternoon. It should be a nice afternoon to go take in some high school lax. And Culver, don't kid yourself. Just because they're a military academy from Indiana, they're legit. They've been legit for 10 years. This is not a flash in the pan. This is not your father's Oldsmobile. So
they like
definitely,
that.
Yeah, they definitely find a way. And the lesson this week is about the out-of-conference scheduling and how important it is to test your team, challenge your team, put them in a spot where they're a little bit uncomfortable. And you're an MIAA team. Every time you go to Florida or you go to away on a spring trip, that's your opponent's Super Bowl. If they win that game, they've made their careers.
Great point.
Really. I mean, we used to play Upper Arlington, and their coach was a buddy of mine. He'd be like, my kids are more fired up today than they were for the state championship game last year.
Yeah.
Because they want to be able to say, hey, we beat McDonogh. Or,
right.
Hey, we beat Calvert Hall.
Right.
So you do have a target on your back as an MIAA school just because of the notoriety. Every school in the MIAA is a little bit of a Notre Dame-ish when you go outside the conference. And they have to carry that, and they represent themselves well. I love the way these kids play, the way they carry themselves. There's pressure on them. God bless whoever took down the forums at Lax Power.
I know that was – I had heard some things, man. I had heard some –
and it would be about this time every year where I would go on, and I go on as Booker. I'm not like Laxer 037.
Right. Like they know who you are. Yeah.
I'm like Booker. So, and I would go on and say, listen, let's remember, these are high
kids,
school kids. You don't need to name them by names, and you really don't need to point out their errors. They know. Like if you threw the ball in the bleachers, there's a good chance you did.
I still struggle with that when I do college games sometimes, Booker, where I'm like, that's a mistake, and it's
good check by the defenseman. Yeah,
but like this is an 18-year-old kid. This is a freshman. Like they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right. Yeah. They're gonna make a play at some point. It happens that way.
And those the anonymous posters on Lax Power would go on. Venomous.
Right.
So and so he cheats on the face, or so and so can't hit corner. Why isn't he shooting overhand? Like, dude, you don't have one varsity letter in your career, and you're busting on a kid who starts for an MIAA team.
That's a great point. Yeah. That's a great point.
So back to the lesson. That out-of-conference, and I just talked about it a little bit, was you have to also schedule so your second and third and fourth string guys get some love, get some time, get some feel-good. And also your starters can then get out and support the heck out of them. Like you can't get them over on the sidelines and be like, oh, we're up 10-3 with 4 minutes to go. Let's go play Fat Fanny on the sidelines. No, I want you watching your teammates and letting them know in practice, I saw that play you made. I know you didn't score, but it was a nice little toe drag. Some might say nifty.
That's a great point. Yeah, you just won the race to nifty.
One day, Glenn, I want
you
to
win
the
race to nifty.
Next week, I'm going to write nifty.
I'm trying to. I got comments. I got questions coming in. I got people want to know things. So I'm trying to do a lot. Brian wants to know, do you know anything about what is going to happen with there was apparently a Loyola game they were supposed to play in Florida?
Yeah, it got canceled. The other team just bailed.
Just done?
Loyola whooped. I want to make sure I'm going off memory here. I got some questions from my man Ernie. But Loyola whooped up on the Canterbury School from New England while they were down in Florida. And the opponent they were playing the next day, I guess, saw that. And they were like, dude, Canterbury whooped us. So let's use the transitive property and go ahead and not play.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because that's where the Loyola backups were going to, go 2-2 or, have some great clears or have some, great fun. Cal Berkeley. Is this one of the future star places for MIA kids to land? Cal Berkeley, unbelievable school. You're going to get a great job if you graduate from Cal Berkeley.
Is this
their head coach, Ned Webster, is hitting up the show right now.
Oh, what's up,
He
Coach?
Also wants to know your answer, Glenn. What's the best crab cake in Maryland?
Oh, this ends up becoming a bit for political reasons, and it's a really good one. Costas Inn is what I'm going to say. Going to go Costas Inn. They are, look, you go over and see Nick and Pete, not only are you going to have a great crab cake, you're going to have a wonderful experience because the people at Costas Inn treat you like family every time you go over there. Crab cake's incredible. So I'm a big Costas Inn. Oh, dude, you got to get over to the Costas Inn.
Never been. I'm a Riley's oyster guy.
I know you are. I know you are. You're a Shuckers, man.
Brian McCombs knows how to make a true blue Maryland crab cake. Like that's it. One of his big standing points is it's Maryland crab. It's not Asian. It's not Louisiana. It's a true blue Maryland crab. Riley's does a nice job with it.
There are times during the year where that's not the most desirable thing, but I respect the effort in order to support.
And then let me ask you all this: do you go crab cake sandwich or crab cake platter?
I'm just crab cake guy. Just no. I don't. The bread offers nothing in that situation. Now it's also good for me now because I don't eat bread any longer.
Yeah.
I'm out. But yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
No. I crab cake stands on its own. If it doesn't stand on its own, it's not a good enough crab cake.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
100%.
It stands on its own.
Yep.
And then before we let you go, we got a homework assignment for you this week, Booker.
Okay.
As we talked about it on my show today, you're going to be studying up on the Gilman situation.
Yes,
this
the
week.
Gilman coaching deal. Right.
Coach Brooks Matthews, after this season, stepping down, right? So
has a career of mentoring, and I just said it 4 minutes ago. A career of mentoring young men and helping them become the best possible version of themselves. That's a coach's job.
Yep.
That's a high school coach's job. In college, you got to win some games. I understand that you have to have a winning percentage that's 500 or around there. I'm not overly worried about all of that, but as a high school coach, your number one job is to help young men or women become the best possible version of themselves. That's it.
100% agreed. Yep. Brooks Matthews has done a wonderful job of that.
Yes, he has. And my homework will be done. I will find out. I might even just text Brooks and say, listen.
Hey, who's getting your job?
My people want to know. Just give me something to give them. And it might be, hey, we haven't even finalized the list yet. They might not have a short list yet.
But we will talk about that more next week.
Yes, we definitely will.
On the show. In the meantime,
Game of the Week, Friday night, 7 p.m., MIAA It's on Facebook. It's on WBAL Me TV. Not the Channel 11.
Right, but the
Me TV
right.
sub-channel. But you can DVR it. Get there. It's going to be amazing. It's a rematch of last year's championship game, BL at Calvert Hall at 7 p.m. What more can I do?
That's the one.
What more can I do?
That's the game. Friday night. All right, sir. Plug your Twitter.
At BookerCorrigan.com.
Just at Booker Corrigan.
At Booker Corrigan.
Yeah, right. At Booker Corrigan.
At BookerCorrigan.com.
Corrigan.
My mind was elsewhere. I was thinking about my sister's twin.
I'm confused. All right.
I'm just kidding.
All right, dude.
Hey, I'm Booker Corrigan reminding you, you only get one shot at today.